CQ, CQ, CQ. This is KD8, WTG. Going to be your net control operator for this trader's net tonight. Gary called me less than 10 minutes ago, and he's tied up on something right now, and he asked if I would go ahead and do the net tonight for him. And, of course, glad to help out. Glad to help out a brother and a friend and a fellow ham and so on and so forth. And so we're glad to have him on our side. So, all right, this is the NAQA repeater. We have repeaters in South Webster. We have repeaters in Portsmouth. And also we have, we're linked into the Ashland repeater over in Ashland, Kentucky. So is there any emergency or priority traffic? Please come now. Okay, hearing none, if you will, give your call sign slowly, phonetically, and your first name, please, and your location, too, if you don't mind, and we'll do that tonight, and if you have anything to sell or not, we can do that also. We'll let you list it whenever it comes around your time, so. All right, I'm going to go ahead and, let me check for in and outs first. I'll check for in and outs first. Anybody short of time and wants to be in and out, please come now. AA8WI, check me in and out, please, Tom. Okay, Bernie, I can do that. All right, anybody else tonight? Anybody else want to check in on the NAQA repeater tonight? Trader night.
Whiskey 3, Whiskey Victor Alpha, Greg in Spring Valley, and I do have a freebie listing.
Okay, here in just a minute. Daniel, Soda Furnace, Ohio. Okay, Danny. All right. Anybody else want to check in tonight? K8CXJ, Bob, from Lucasville. KB8SRN, Gary. Close to Muletown. Okay, all right, anybody else? Okay, we'll take a break right there, and W3WBA, Mr. Gregg, what you have?
All right, good evening, Tom, and everybody on the net. I've got 1 week left before it goes into the garbage, but it's a working arch rotor, rotary rotor controller. It's a little bit older, and it's a 3-wire. It does work, but the front little direction finding doesn't work very well. And then what else I have to offer up for free, I have, if you have an older computer that takes the IDE hard drive interface, then I've got about 6 hard drives. It takes the old ribbon cable. I've got 2 80 gigabytes, 2 60 gigabytes, and a couple 40 gigabyte hard drives you can have for free. They're the IDE with the ribbon cable. And if you want to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me at the QRZ page, Whiskey 3, Whiskey Victor Alpha, W3, WVA. Back to net control.
Okay, Greg, okay. If anybody has need for those things, Greg's got a bargain, basically a bargain price on them tonight. And you can't beat that. Can't beat free. So, okay. All right, Greg. Thank you very much. Glad to hear you tonight. All right, K8 DMK from Odie Furnace. All right, Danny.
Well, good evening, Tom, and everybody on the net who has signed on here this evening. Good you're doing the net tonight, Tom. Thank you for doing it. Appreciate it. But didn't do much. Just hung around and tried to get work done at the house, things that need to be done. So got that and not much of that. And got to run around Muletown. Caught Tom out of town, and I got to run around Muletown a little bit. So that's about all I done today. So Tom, I'm going to turn it back over to you. This is K8DMK, back to net control.
Okay, but I can tell you where you had brunch.
Well, I'm not going to bet, but I'd say you can.
Yeah, he had brunch over to the airport. I know. He invited me. Well, all right, I'm going to tease him. He invited me, but he knew I was in Jackson County, so, No, I'd eat with Danny anytime I'm available. I can, so. Okay, now, just kidding you there, Danny, just kidding you. All right, Mr. Bob, over in Lukeyville. KD8CXJ. Hey, Bob, how you doing?
This is KD8CXJ. Doing fine. You got a good net going. I really appreciate it. And I really enjoy listening to all our fellow radio operators. Everything's good around here. Nice weather. We got us a new pup and been staying busy taking him outside about once an hour all day long. But everything else is pretty good. I don't know why, but just for the heck of it, I tried telegraphing Morse code again here the last couple of days. It's been almost 60 years since I did that, and that was in the Scouts when I was a teenager. And I was surprised. It's easier to do this time than it was when I was a kid. But hope everybody's doing good, staying healthy, getting your shots. This is KE8CXJ saying, back to net control. God bless America.
Okay, Bob, was all that good scout training you had? I was a scout when I was growing up, and also I helped with the troop whenever my son was going through scouting. So I'd like to ask you, if you will, please, what rank did you achieve?
Yeah, this is KE8CXJ. I was working on the first few merit badges for my Eagle Scout when it come that time in life where sports just overcame me so bad that I didn't have time for anything else but playing ball. KE8CXJ, bye.
So you did make it to life then, is that right?
Yeah, Roger.
Okay, Bob. Well, that's good. Yeah, I know they're going through a hard time right now, but I know scouting is a good thing. All right, Gary, what have you been into today? I know you usually have a project going on today, or going on each day. So, what have you been into today, Gary?
AB8SRN, good evening, Tom. Thanks for doing the net. You're doing a fine job. everybody else listening. Well, I did split a little firewood this morning, and then I went down to check on my mother, and I had my grandkids with me, a 1 and a 4-year-old, so I was babysitting both ends of the spectrum there. And it gets a little challenging at times, but it's worth it. And I was just thinking, scouting, when I was in Troop 12 as a kid, and they didn't do much Morse code back then. The signaling was semaphore, and I just was looking at some of that stuff the other night, the Grand Circle and all that. So I did remember some of that. And then as I became older, I became a leader, and I did teach some Morse code. In fact, we'd go out on campouts and have 2 teams, patrols divide up, and we would send flashlight signals and coordinates and things like that through compass coordinates and through flashlight Morse code. It's pretty interesting. I never earned Eagle. I was, as a scout, I was close to life before what we call the fumes hit, perfumes and car fumes, gas fumes. And everybody knows how that goes. Plus, I got interested in music, and priorities changed. Back to you, Tom. It was all worth it, though, as a kid and an adult. 7-3.
Recheck.
Go ahead, recheck.
This is K8CXJ again, Bob. Hey, something I come across, I was cleaning out some old stuff out here in my radio room, and in an old trunk I found my Boy Scout handbook. It's over 60 years old. It looks that old, but if you ever know of any scout leaders or people in the scouts that want something like that, I'd sure pass it on to them, because that's how long it's been since it's been used, over 60 years.
Well, Bob, if I hear anybody that's looking for one, or I think Gary could probably say that too, or Jennifer. I know Jennifer works with the Scouts also, so maybe we could spread that word around a little bit if they know of anybody that's needing one. So, all right, thank you very much, Bob. Appreciate that. All right, we're down at the bottom of the list. Anybody else like to check in this evening on the NAQA repeater? And also, we're linked with Ashland, of course. Anybody over in Ashland area, Huntington, all over in that area would like to check in, please call your sign.
EC8FOG. WX8G mobile.
November 8, Mike Romeo Bravo, Rosemount.
November 8, Juliet Echo November, Jennifer, also in Rosemount.
Okay, had a good little run there. Yep, had a good little run. Okay, anybody else? Anybody else like to check in before we go back up here at the top? Okay, all right. FOG, what do you? How's your weather up there? You got a lot of wind up there on the hill?
Yeah, I think the highest gust today is 34 mile an hour. It's doing pretty good, that's for sure. Most of the waters went down the area. That's good. And I'll say hello to everybody. And I cut firewood today and got some good, nice, solid oak. Locust. Good dry stuff. Anyway, looks like it'll be nice weather coming up for a lot of days, and we'll sure take advantage of that. Have a good evening, KCFOG.
Okay. Thanks a lot for checking in tonight. Sure do appreciate it. All right, Mr. Gary, are you still out and about?
Yes, I am, Tom. I'd like to say hello to you, everybody, and
thanks a lot for filling in for me tonight. Today went pretty good. I finally figured out how to get into a valve on my little sink in the bathroom. So I fixed that. Didn't much more than get done with that. And anyway, Judy said that the dryer was dead. So I got to try and figure out how to get in there. I think it's the fuse, and because it doesn't do anything. And I checked the breaker. But anyway, just really appreciate you and appreciate everybody else. Gonna be I'll break right here. I usually go and ride with one of the drivers tomorrow, and I don't know how many days I'll do that, but anyway, I'll probably do some driving too along the way. But going to kind of learn my way, and kind of anxious to be able to get out on the road and drive truck, and most important of all, making some money, being safe. All right, I'll turn her back to you, and 73, everybody, WX8G Mobile.
Okay, Gary. You be careful out there. Watch that four-legged deer and, all those things going on out there. And, excuse me. And out there in the night. So just be careful as you travel. All right, and as you work on that dryer, too, be careful, too. Yeah, that's a must also. All right, we're going to go over to Rosemount, over to Mr. Mike. You're first on the list. Okay, Mr. Mike, what you got going on?
Well, first off, thanks for doing the net like true ham friend would, and second of all, I'd like to let everybody know that PRC, last time we held a meeting to take care of amateur radio badge for the Boy Scouts, the Troop 53 in Southwester, your net control, and a few other members from the PRC, like Gary and some, also down in, help those boys get their badge. Other than that, it's been a pretty good day today for us. Worked the shop for a while. Had a huge influx of systems come in. I don't know how we're going to unbury ourselves, but I'm sure we will. And I'm just in the living room, but I'm looking through and watching NAJEN getting dinner ready, so I'm going to turn it over to her and net control, N8MRB.
Okay, Mike. Good. Yeah, you'll dig out of that. You'll dig out that pile, and make some people happy. Get their computers taken care of. That's good. That'll be good. Okay, Jennifer. What's for supper? Like Grandpa on Hee Haw, where he said, Grandpa, what's for supper?
Oh my goodness, Tom. Let's see. It's leftover cleanup night, so there's a little bit of mashed potatoes and a slice of pizza and some noodles, cheesy noodles from the other day. And then on the new menu, we got ham sandwiches and broccoli and cheese. So I don't know if that sounds appetizing to you, but that's what we're having. We'll break for a second. As far as, hey, Gary, it sounds like you went in the wrong business there, truck driving. You need to go into appliance repair, buddy. I know a lot of people could use your skills there. But Mike said something about tell you it's the back of the top section where all the electronics are. But I'll go ahead and turn it back over to you, and I'll pester everybody later. NAJEN.
Okay, Jennifer. Yeah, I've had to do that, going through the and collecting the leftovers. Yeah, I've been there, done that. Been there, done that. Yeah, have to go through the leftovers. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing at all. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay. All right, we're down at the bottom of the list. Anybody else like to check in the NAQA and the action repeater tonight? Please call your sign. And if you have anything to sell.
Recheck W3WVA.
Okay, Greg, go ahead.
Well, thank you. I just wanted to quickly mention that I was a Cub Scout. I went all the way through the Cub Scouts, all the way through Webelos, and then by the time I made it to Boy Scouts, and we traded in den mothers for scout leaders, I got a couple badges. I learned my knots in the pledge, but I was a tenderfoot for 2 years, and we had a lot of fun, even though I didn't accelerate up the ranks, so to speak. But the reason I wanted to recheck was I'm getting ready to buy. Everybody knows I've been whining about how my dipole was smashed by 2 gigantic trees in the backyard. So I'm getting ready to buy another one that I can't afford, and I figured I'd buy some other stuff I can't afford too, since I was without power for so long. I'm thinking about getting one of those $150 amorphous solar panels from Harbor Freight, and I'm also looking to get a battery. So my question is to anybody who might be an Elmer on the net is there any reason I shouldn't buy these, or if there might be a better one for around $150? And does anybody recommend an affordable battery, 12-volt battery, maybe around $150, $200, something like that? And with that, I'll return it back to Net Control. Thank you very much again, Tom, for doing the net, and W3WVA.
Yeah, Jeff, I was gonna suggest that. FOG can help you out there. Go ahead, talk to Greg.
Just going from experience, you're best to get a better monocrystalline panel, like the Renogy or Renology, however you want to pronounce it. They're made in California, which I don't know, that's another country. But anyway, they're a good panel, and they're also a multi-angle panel, which means it can take greater angles and still charge, and the other ones will not do that from Harbor Freight. They're not as good a panel. Your best is to get a good monocrystalline panels as much as you can afford, with the nice heaviest controller you can afford, higher than your amperage side, at least 20% higher. And batteries, boy, that's another world. Cheapest thing you can do right now, that works good as golf cart battery if you'll go on the bottom side of it. Then you got the AGM slot. And don't use none of that lithium stuff. I don't like lithium at all, but I like it for smaller projects, but not stuff like that. And make sure you don't use marine batteries. Marine batteries are not good for deep cycle. They don't have the cycle rate that's required for off-grid living. And I'll break for a second. Anyway, with that, you research it from there. That's just what I've done in experience.
W3WVA. Can you explain what a golf cart battery is, maybe?
A golf cart battery has extreme bigger and heavier plates in it, and has a higher charge or higher cycle rate. Like you may go 400 or 500 times to charge them back up. Marine batteries only 120, 200 times. And they have deeper trays in the bottoms when they desulfate the battery. That has deeper trays for the stuff to flake off and go into, so not to short the batteries out. And they charge faster. And that's the cheapest bottom way to do it. And Real King used to sell them, and I called today, and they didn't have any down there, but they have a replacement. It's about twice the price of it. But it's what they call it's a higher amp hour 6-volt they got, and that thing's about $160. But remember, when you tie 2 6-volt batteries together to get 12 volts, you get 12 volts, you only get the amp hour rating of one battery.
W3WVA. Okay, all right. I'm looking for the monocrystalline regenerate panel. I'm looking for 2 golf cart batteries that are 6 volts, and I put them in parallel, right, for 6 volts, and then or for 12 volts, and no marine batteries or any type of like old Dodge car batteries. Is that correct?
That's a good start, and you want them in series. Series to get 12 volts, and you double the voltage to 12 volts or higher, but your amperage stays only as one battery. If it's 225 ampere on both batteries, you only get 225 out on the system. But there's advantages to doing that. If you never notice, all your big security lights and stuff are always wired that way with 2 6-volt batteries to make a 12-volt battery most of the time, because there's advantages to doing it that way, and that takes more time to explain than we've got on here probably.
All right, thank you very much. I also thank the net for standing by while I, unravel this mystery. I'll go ahead armed with this information. Thanks again, KC8FOG, and back to net control, Tom. Thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. As far as I'm concerned, that's what we're here for. So, these golf cart batteries are for electric golf carts. I had an electric one. Well, matter of fact, I still have one. I want to sell for parts one of these days. And then, and I bought a gas one, but it's electric golf carts that is very popular. So, all right. Okay. Anybody else want to check in tonight? We're at the bottom of the list. Anybody else want to check in tonight? Please call your sign. Check. Okay, I heard somebody with the audio.
All right, sorry, I was kind of quick. Recheck.
Okay, go ahead, recheck.
SRN, I just want to say that I really enjoyed that last conversation on the batteries, and Jeff taking time there to explain all his knowledge on that. That was very interesting, and kind of looking forward to some more of those kind of discussions. Back to you, Tom, KB8SRN.
Yeah, well, as I say, I mean, I know it takes a little bit of time, but hey, that's what we're here for, is to help each other out. Okay. All right, anybody else like to check in tonight? Please call your sign.